Hi YouTube. Hi. Welcome to my channel. My name is Morgan and I haven't made a video in like a year. So here I am. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about my Esther Fast that I just finished. And pre-note, like cursor or whatever you want to call it. I'm just now finding out that you're really like not supposed to tell anyone when you fast. Like you're supposed to do it in private. And I see that was one of my issues when like every time I try to fast, I would tell people, but you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to boast about it. You're supposed to do it in private because God will like bless you in public. But anyway, I was told to make this video, even though like I said I haven't posted in about a year. I was told to make the video, so here I am. All right, so this is gonna be a long one. So if you wanna like grab some snacks or some tea or do what you wanna do, just go ahead, cause yeah, get comfortable. Okay, so basically, okay, the last month or so has been absolutely insane for me. Well, like literally like the past like 6 months, but more recently a lot has been going crazy in my life, and I won't like get into specific details because I don't think I need to tell the internet streets all my business. But yeah, like it has been crazy. But more recently, like the last 2 weeks or so, I've been seeing a lot of synchronicities, like a whole lot, a whole lot. Lots of angel numbers. And really, like the angel numbers started about a month ago, which is when all of this started. I started to see angel numbers about a month ago, which is, if you're not familiar with that, it's like 333, 222, 111, all those different numbers. But then other stuff started happening. Like I started to meet people with the same exact birthdays that were like very significant in my life. I met two people, or one person that had the same birthday as someone that was very significant in my life. Meeting people with the same names that are very like uncommon names. Like very uncommon names. Like I met someone with the same name as someone else that I know, and I'm just like, okay. Or just like having lots of dreams and visions, and it started to drive me crazy. I will be uploading my testimony on how God brought me out of my abusive situation. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I gave my life to Christ this year, and he took me out of a really bad situation, and here I am. He's still he's still working on me. But yeah, he took me out of a really bad situation. And that's a whole nother story though. That's a whole nother testimony. But basically, let's get back to this Esther Fast. So, I don't know. I was going crazy over here. Like for at least 2 weeks, I was over here going through it. I'm talking about mood changes, crying, happy, sad, angry, fussing people out. It was pretty bad. And I called my best friend, and we had a long conversation, and she made a really good point because I was into witchcraft like really heavy before I gave my life to Christ. And she made a good point, and she said that I'm used to being in control like with magic and witchcraft, and now that like I'm a Christian, I have to learn how to trust God like 100%. Like I'm not doing no type of candle work, like no herbs, none of that. No divination like with my tarot cards or my pendulum, or the pendulum, because it's not mine anymore. I threw it all in the dumpster. Thank you, Jesus. But anyway, like just learning how to trust God like 1,000%. Okay, so now this synchronicity is crazy. Okay, I forgot one. So last week I'm working, right? I'm minding my business, and me and the guy that I'm working with, like we're having a whole conversation about Jesus and how great Jesus is and how we should spread his word. And I work in sales. That's one of the things that I do. And this guy is like walking down, and big as day on his shirt it says Jesus. Mind you, like the type of festival that we were at, it was a very worldly festival that we were working at. Like it was not religious at all. But the guy's like shirt, as we're talking about Jesus, biggest day, it says Jesus. And me and the guy that I was working with, we just looked at each other like, oh my God, like what the heck? So he tries to like get the guy to come over, and all he did was wink. And we just were like, wow, like that's crazy. Like obviously Jesus is here right now. Like that was perfect. So that was number one, okay? So this is all like leading up to my Esther Fast. And mind you, a week before that, like I'm a little dramatic. I can be a bit dramatic sometimes. So the week before that, because I was going through a lot of stuff, like I said, which I won't tell the internet streets, maybe at another time, but not right now. I was going through a lot of stuff. So I'm very dramatic. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to just go away for 90 days. Like, I'm going to turn this phone off and I'm going to get another one. And I'm not going to talk to nobody but but my mom and the father of my kids, like their dad, in case like there's an emergency or something like that. Y'all, I'm so dramatic. Like I'm so dramatic. I lasted like 10 days. I lasted 10 days. And then like I really thought about it. God was like, what are you doing? Like this is not what I wanted you to do. It clearly wasn't. So let's get into how I found out what he wanted me to do. So after I turned my phone on and I had my little rants and meltdowns and whatever else. Let me think about this. Oh, okay. So it was one night I was laying in bed and something told me, God told me, call this person that's very significant in your life and ask them if they've ever had an encounter with Jesus. So at first I'm like, why? Like, why would I do that? And I did it. And I called and I'm like, have you ever had an encounter with Jesus? And this person is like, why? Mind you, it was like 11:30 at night. And this person is like, why? I'm like, well, I'm just curious. Like, have you ever felt like the love and comfort and peace that comes with Jesus? And he goes, yeah. Like, it's late. I want to go to sleep. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I hung up. And then God wakes me up because he's been waking me up at 3:00. Okay. He wakes me up at, well, actually it was exactly 3:33. He wakes me up at exactly 3:33 in the morning. Okay. And he said, read Hebrews. So I said, okay. Mind you, y'all, like I said, I just got saved this year. I'm new to actually reading the word, not just like looking up scriptures. Like I'm actually like getting into my word. So I'm like, okay. So I go to read Hebrews, and there was a few lines that stuck out to me that I highlighted, but it was mainly about, like Jesus and whatever. So, and I before that I was reading John. So I was already like getting to know like who Jesus really is and what he did and, like all the miracles that he performed while he was here in the flesh. So after I read Hebrews, I decided to go to church that day. Was it that day? I don't know, but something told me to start fasting. So I did. And this time I initially it wasn't even supposed to be like a 3-day dry fast. Like it was just going to be just me fasting. Like I didn't even have a plan. I did not have a plan going into it. It was just, well, I've been wanting to fast. I was going to be extreme and do 90 days. Let me just go ahead and just do this. So I was like, all right, fine. I'm going to start fasting. So I said, I'm not going to drink any water. I'm not going to eat anything. I'm just going to go ahead and just, I deleted all the social medias were already off my phone, but TikTok wasn't. Oh, TikTok. That's another one that I have to tell you all about. The enemy. That's another thing. Spiritual warfare. That's another thing that like led me into it. The spiritual warfare is real. I kept going on TikTok, right? And when I was going on TikTok, all these tarot readers kept popping up. And it didn't matter how many times I reset the algorithm, because I would like hashtag Christian talk, log out, like leave it for a few hours and come back on. No, the tarot readers were still popping up. And like they were saying all this stuff that was literally like feeding my brain. And I'm like, this is not good. Like this. So it was a lot of spiritual warfare going on like before the fast. So anyway, I'm like, all right, I'm going to just go cold turkey. I'm not going to eat anything. I'm not going to eat anything. I'm not going to drink anything for the next 24 hours. Okay. So then I went on Pinterest because I'm homeschooling my kids and I wanted to look up homeschooling ideas. And this like Bible like inspo popped up, and it was talking about like the Esther fast. I'm like, okay, what the heck is that? So I look it up, and then I read about the story of Esther, and I read about how she, fasted for 3 days and 3 nights, and so that yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, this sounds really good. Maybe I should do this. So at that moment, instead of doing it for 1 day, I decided to do it for 3 days. So here's my experience. The first day was okay. The first day was okay, and I didn't really feel like the hunger, but I was still just like really emotional. I did turn my phone off, and then like I took another phone, and I went to go sit at a spot that I like to sit and write at, and I just like wrote a whole bunch of letters, because that's what I do. I write letters and all types of stuff. Like I have a journal with this. I have like 4 journals, but I wrote a letter, and the first day got to me. Like emotionally. I know this wasn't right, and I didn't eat anything. Like, thank God. God gave me the strength. Jesus gave me the strength, because I didn't eat or drink anything for the full 3 days. But the first day, when I got home from writing, I decided to go on this rant to someone that was very significant in my life, and I probably shouldn't have did that, but I know now, because God humbled me real fast. But I went on this rant and said some things that I probably shouldn't have said, and I went to sleep. Yeah. Actually, I didn't. It was actually really hard to go to sleep, but I didn't really feel like the physical effects of it the first day. Now that second day, that's another story. The second day, I felt everything. I woke up, I felt very weak. Oh, and I forgot to add this very important thing. I was on my cycle when I did this. So I was already like losing nutrients. But anyway, the second day, I felt very tired. I felt very weak. I felt very drained. Okay? Now, 2 songs popped in my head while I was doing this, and I'm gonna talk and try to find it, because I don't know. 2 songs popped in my head the whole time I did this. But yeah, the second day I felt really drained, tired, miserable, kind of. But every single time I felt drained, I would literally drop to my knees. Like, I stayed up really late reading my Bible, and I dropped to my knees, and I'm like, listen, like, you were strong enough to do it. Like, I know I can do this. Like, I need your strength, God, in Jesus' name, please just give me the strength to get through this. And it was 3 things that I was asking for. I'm only going to share 1. I'm not going to share the other 2, because like I said, I'm not ready to share in these internet streets yet. But the main one that I was asking for was like clarity and direction on like specific subjects. And the other 2, like I said, I'm not going to share those. But the first one was mostly like clarity. I wanted to hear God like crystal clear, because like I said, like I've been getting all these signs and synchronicities for the past few weeks, but none of them were making sense to me, because I don't know, I think I was just drowning in my own noise. So the second day, I just laid on the floor, and I have a 5-year-old, and my son will be 3 in a month. I laid on the floor, and I just slept. I slept, and I felt bad, and I kept like saying in my head, I need to get up. Like, I need to get up. I need to be productive. Like, my kids are here. I need to be productive. And this voice kept intervening and saying, be still. Bold as day. Be still. Get your rest. Everything is okay. And I'm like, but I gotta get up. Like, I'm supposed to be meeting my friend in like an hour, because I agreed to go to the park, to do a play date. And I just kept hearing over and over and over again, be still, be still, be still, get your rest. It's okay. It is okay. So I'm like, okay. Over and over again, I'm hearing this. So I'm like, all right. So I lay down, and I'm asleep, and I had 3 dreams during that time, and all of them had significance. All of them spoke to me. My dreams speak to me anyway, but like I said, I haven't really been able to like make sense of them, but they all spoke to me. So I woke up, I got myself together, and I got my kids together, And the whole time I'm thinking, how am I going to get the strength? Because I did a order on Instacart, and I'm on the third floor of our of this apartment building, and there's no elevator, and my kids are very small. And I had just like placed the Instacart order before all this. So I'm like, how am I gonna get the groceries from the car to this apartment? Because I had like 10 bags and all of them were kind of heavy, and I had no type of energy. And this is before I go to pick it up. But all day I'm thinking about my groceries. Even before I went to go meet my friend, I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Like I'm sure those bags are heavy, and I already feel like super drained, you know. So, and I also want to tell you that just like I heard God, I also heard the enemy. And I knew it was the enemy because it eventually stopped. So after the first day, it was really the first day that I heard the enemy. I just kept on hearing, eat something. Eat something. It's okay. You'll get what you need. Eat something. And I kept saying, no, I'm not. Like I'm strong. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. And I actually prayed about that too. I got on my hands and my knees and I prayed, like just spiritual warfare out of my life, all the chains to be broken, all the binding things and contracts that I cannot see or that I've made in the past with my witchcraft, and I just like am still bound to them. I was like, listen, I'm sick of it. I don't want it in my life anymore. In Jesus' name, like whatever. I got on my knees and I prayed before I started, whatever. So I'm on the second day, right? Yeah, the second day, weak, tired, cranky, very cranky, because I have, like I said, I have 2 kids, and I had to ask God for patience. I really had to ask God for patience because my kids were like really tested by patience, especially when you keep hearing, Mom, I'm starving. I kept hearing, Mom, I'm starving. And I had to tell my daughter, I'm like, listen, baby, there are people that are actually starving. So just say, and this is after she had just eaten like 2 hours ago. So I'm like, just say, Mom, I'm hungry. I need some food. And she was okay with that. But that, like, my kids were really testing my patience on that second day. And I think that's the most I ever prayed. Like, that's the most I ever prayed. Like, every chance I got, I was on my hands and my knees and I was praying. I was listening. Oh, these are the 2 songs that popped in my head. So it was Thy Will, and that song is by Hillary Scott. And then Worthy. So worthy of every praise you could ever sing. That song too. Those 2 songs were like stuck on repeat in my head. So I played those songs over and over and over again, because the Thy Will song, I'm like, all right, like whatever your will is for these situations that I'm asking about, let it be done. I'm surrendering. Like I have no more power in this. Like it's all in your hands. I give up. And I went to the park with my friend, and I didn't, for the first time ever, because like I said, I have a big mouth. I be talking, y'all. I try not to talk, but I be talking. And about myself. Like I'm like an open book. If I'm doing something, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this right now, and then this happened. But this time, I'm like, I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna tell anybody, So I told my friend only because we were going to the park, and I told her, like, listen, I can't do a whole bunch of like running around this park and whatever. I'm on my cycle and I'm fasting. So, and I just left it at that. And she's like, oh my God, like you're fasting. You should have told me and whatever. So we get there and it was hot. That whole time I just wanted to take a nap, but like I said, I kept asking God for the strength, and he gave me the strength. I don't know how, but he gave me the strength, and I got through that play date and that day of us like running around chasing our kids at this playground, and I haven't had like food or water for at least like 30 something hours at this point. So after that, I went to go get my groceries. Now this was the hard part. This was the part that I was like, okay, all right, like I've been anticipating this all day long. Like I'm gonna need, and I prayed before I got there. I prayed like as I was bringing them up the steps. I'm like, oh, Father God, please give me the strength. Holy Spirit, please come into my, give me the strength to get these bags up these steps right now. Because, my kids, they can't really help me. And it's just me, single mom. I can't, I'm struggling right now. And I literally felt so lightheaded and dizzy. But thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. I got the bags in it. And immediately I laid down on the floor again for a good 10 minutes before I got up again and put all the groceries away and cooked dinner for my kids. Also, during this time, I went to the market too, to get all of our fruit and stuff. Because I get all of our fruit and stuff from one market and all of our meat and stuff from another market. So that was challenging too, to go in the market and you're really hungry and seeing all this different food. And I really feel like when you're fasting, your senses just perk up, because I could smell everything that was in that market. Everything just smelled so good. Everything was magnified. So anyway, yeah, I went to the market, got everything in, and as I'm getting the kids down, okay, something told me to go in there and pray over my kids. And I do this often, but it was a different type of praying. I went in there and I prayed over my kids, and something said, they'll be okay. They'll be okay. That's all I kept on hearing is, they'll be okay. They are loved. They'll be okay. I'm okay. So after I got them down, I'm still on the second day. Now, yeah, the second day is when I got a lot of downloads, I heard very, very clearly. Once I was done doing all my running around and stuff like that, that's when I heard clearly what for one of the things that I asked for, I heard clearly about that situation. Now, this is actually kind of funny, and this is how I got my confirmation. So I was actually in the bathroom when I heard it, right? I'm in the bathroom and I'm minding my business. And I'll just tell you what was said, but I'm not going to tell you what I asked for. So I heard, you're going to be moving soon. And now that's not what I asked about. I didn't ask if I was going to move or where I should move. That's not what I prayed for. But I heard, you're going to be moving soon. And I'm like, huh? I just moved in here. What do you mean? I'm thinking it's me at this point, but I know it's not me. Because I said, I just moved in here and I'm not going to tell myself, oh, you're going to be moving soon. So I'm in the bathroom and I'm like, what do you mean? I just moved in here a month ago or 4 months ago at this point. So what do you mean? And then I heard it again, you're going to be moving soon. And then I heard with such and such. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, huh? What do you mean? And then I heard it again. He said, you're going to be moving soon. So with such and such. And I'm like, okay, all right. I think I heard that right, but okay, all right. And some other stuff was said too. I'm not going to tell the internet streets, but some other stuff was said too that was later confirmed the next day on day 3. But those are the things that I heard before I came back in my room and started reading my Bible again. At this point, he said, okay, now read Corinthians. I started reading Corinthians, and this is when I got humbled. Remember that text message that I said I sent on day 1 where I felt so bad about it? Corinthians, or just a lot of things that I had been doing without, I was very ignorant without realizing that I wasn't supposed to be doing. I wasn't supposed to be doing. So I was reading Corinthians, and every now and then you would just hear me go, you didn't have to tell me that, God. And I would highlight it, and I'd be like, all right, and I'd get on my hands and my knees, and I'd ask for forgiveness from God. I'm like, I did this, and I now see that was wrong, and I shouldn't have did this. I now see that was wrong. All of it was in Corinthians, and I'm just like, ooh. So he humbled me the second day. The second day was the hardest. I got a few, I got a few stuff the second day, but I think the second day was just really about humbling. Yeah, I'm about to humble you, and which he did. And then the third day, which was yesterday. The third day, I woke up and I felt sick. I felt real nauseous. I was like, I feel so nauseous today. Father God, please give me the strength to get through this day, because today I'm feeling weak, I'm feeling thirsty, I'm feeling nauseous, I'm feeling like I don't have any energy, and all the, all of the above. And I was able to make it through. And mind you, the third day, I felt a little bit of anxiety because we had mediation, like, for court, and I was already like feeling not like kind of out of it, and I wasn't like really feeling good about that mediation. So like 5 minutes before mediation, my son walks into the room and he gives me this button, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it has a picture of Jesus on it. It has a picture of Jesus. And I found this little button a few months ago. I think I was in the market and I found it on the ground. And I was like, hey, look, and I picked it up. And I haven't seen it. I have not seen this. And in 5 minutes before my mediation, like I said, I prayed hard because I'm like, all right, I don't want to do this mediation. I have anxiety. Like, I really don't want to go into this right now. And my son walks in 5 minutes before and he gives me this pen that has Jesus on it. And I'm like, okay, and I instantly felt better. I'm like, okay, yeah, like I'm okay. I can do this, And mediation went okay. It didn't go like bad. It didn't go like how I wanted it to go, but it was okay. Like, I was able to get through it. Thank God. Thank Jesus. I was able to get through that mediation. And after the mediation, it was around like 1:00 or something like that. And I went back and I started praying some more. I read some more of my Bible. I worshiped. Like, I did some worship to those 2 songs that were just like really just on repeat in my head. And I got my kids down for bed. I came back in my room and I prayed again. I did so much praying like over the past 3 days. I prayed again and I laid down and I just was quiet. I said, all right, please speak to me. What is it that you need me to know right now about X, Y, and Z? What is it that you need me to do? What do I need to do? And then I heard again, be still, about certain situations. But other situations, it was very like clear. It was very crystal clear. He said, I already told you, but you're going to be moving soon with such and such. He said, closer than you think. Closer. I kept hearing closer than you think. And I'm like, huh? Like, but I kept hearing that, closer than you think, closer than you think, on the way, like closer than you think. And I'm just like, okay, like, all right. So I go to pick up my phone. Y'all. And I'm typing all this in my notepad because I always type like on my phone. I type my dreams and everything else on my notepad, y'all. I typed that in my notepad at, I have the time and I got screenshots. I got receipts. Okay? I got receipts. Anyway, I typed this at 9:03 p.m. And this is everything that I'm hearing. Everything that I'm hearing God tell me. At 9:03 p.m., I heard it, right? So then, after I'm laying there and I did another prayer, I opened YouTube. Something just told me to open YouTube. So I go and I open YouTube and there's this video, and I can like show you the time and everything for that too. There's a screen, there's a video, and where is it? The video said, yes, you are moving, and no, you won't miss it. Look at this. And I was like, what the heck? Like, when I tell you, I was like, so it's true? Like, it's true? Okay. So, and then another one pops up. And mind you, like, this has not been on my YouTube algorithm. I've been looking up cooking videos and like stuff like that. Like, nothing about this type of stuff. So another one pops up, and this one was very specific. It says, your address and your blank is changing. I'm not going to share the other thing because then that would reveal what I asked for. But it said your address and your blank is changing. And I was just like, and then I watched the video and it was so spot on. And I'm just like, okay, so there is my confirmation. And then the other confirmation that I got was, there's another YouTube video that I was watching. And the lady was saying that she hears God speak to her when she's in the bathroom because that's where she doesn't have her phone, right? And remember I told you about night 2, that's where I heard that I was going to be, you know, moving or whatever. And I was like, wow, okay. So like, I'm not going crazy. Like I'm not going crazy. I heard it crystal clear. Like this is what was said. So I'm like, okay. Then another video. So he was communicating through YouTube last night. That's crazy. So he was all talking to me, but he was also communicating through YouTube videos. So I scroll again, and then there's this video that pops up on the other thing that I asked about, which I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to share on the internet streets right now. At a later date, I will, but right now I'm not. The third thing I asked about, there was a video about it. And I have not been looking it up on YouTube or anything like that. And I'm just like, okay. And the title was exactly what I asked about. And I was like, okay. So I watched the video and I'm just like, wow. And like I immediately got on my hands and my knees and I just prayed some more, cried some more, worshiped, you know, like I was on my knees. I'm like, oh my God, like you answered me and you love me so much. you know, because the past 2 weeks I haven't been feeling love. You know, like I've been having a really hard time with self-love. You know, you get out of a abusive situation, you know, survivor of domestic violence, it takes a hit at your confidence. You know, when I was doing some things that I probably shouldn't have been doing, you know, trying to like validate myself and look for love in places I shouldn't have been looking for love. And one whole time I should have been seeking Jesus. I should have been seeking God. Like that's where the unconditional love comes from. You know, like that's who died on the cross for me. Like that's unconditional. And really like that's at this point, that's where the bar is. Okay. But anyway, y'all don't take me serious. Don't take me serious. Don't take me serious. But no, seriously, the bar is high. Oh, that thing is high. Like this high. Anyway, so I don't even know where I was because I'm being silly. Oh yeah, so at this point it's like 10 something. So like for the last hour, I just sat there and I like with my eyes closed. And this time I got a vision. And I got a vision of a car and a person getting out of the car with something that I want. Like I've been wanting. And I'm just like, all right, was that me or was that you or was that me? You know, at this point, I'm just asking, I'm like, so was that you or was that me? And then I got the confirmation that was, you know, God. So I'm like, oh, okay. So this is, you know, this actually might happen, you know? So, let's cut down. Yeah, like this video was 30 minutes. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope you didn't click out. Anyway, so I get to the end of the fast. And the first thing I did was I ended with communion. I'm not drinking anymore. Like I've made that decision. I'm not gonna drink, but I had some water and some naan bread, and I did my communion, and then I ate some watermelon, and I went to bed. And that's my story. But basically, like throughout this, I just felt so much love. I felt so much peace. I felt so much comfort. I felt very strong because, like I said, I was also on my cycle. So I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking, and, you know, I'm doing my womanly thing. So I'm like, dang, like, wow, like, you really gave me the strength to get through that. Because if it wasn't for praying and asking for the strength, I don't think I would have been strong enough to get through that, you know. Oh, I forgot one big thing. So the second day also, remember I told you I keep seeing angel numbers. I'm still seeing them. But on the second day, I kept seeing 333 specifically because I had been seeing it for a while, but I kept seeing 333, which was like confirmation, like, okay, like this is what I'm going to be doing. Like this is 3 days. This is great, you know. But anyway, yeah, like the strength that was provided for me, like the love, the comfort, all the affirmations that I heard during this time, like just felt so surreal. You know, like I haven't had like an experience like that. I'm very known for like having dreams and stuff like that, but I haven't experienced something like that. So I mean, I made this video because I was told to, He also told me to start doing YouTube. Like, I can tell y'all that. He told me to start doing YouTube. So you're going to like see me posting a lot more from here on out about just like my journey, my testimony, because I really want to share with y'all like how I got out of my abusive situation and how I am where I am. And there's a few other things that I'm working on that, you know, I want to share. But really, this is just, I guess, like encouragement, and just for me to say, like, you can do it. If you've been thinking about doing it, like if you feel like you've been called to do it, I would ask for some type of confirmation first before doing it. But if you feel like you've been called to do it, you can do it. Like, it sounds like a lot. It sounds really hard, but that's what we have God for. That's what we have Jesus for. Like, he is our strength. He is our strength. And there was one verse, the second day while I was laying on that floor, and I felt like I just didn't have any type of energy. That second day, specifically, I kept going back to one specific verse. It was, hold on. I highlighted so many. Here we go. Since he himself has gone through suffering and testing, he is able to help us when we are being tested. And this was Hebrews 2:18. And remember, he told me to read Hebrews before that second day. You know, and that's the verse that I kept going back to, kept reading. I fell asleep on the floor with that verse like in my face. I'm like, all right, yes, like he went through this, like when he was being tested, and I need to go to him. But yeah, this is getting really long. So yeah, again, my name is Morgan, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna end it here. Bye. Oh, and by the way, if you're in New York City next week, I'm going to be performing at the Apollo on the 21st. So see you there if you're in New York. Bye.